Yo, what's going on, guys? This is Snake here and I'm back with a brand new video. Today, guys, we are going to be doing Apex Legends Season 22 Weapon Tier List. I am joined with the man himself, Cryptic. Cryptic, say good morning, hello, whatever.
Hello, I'm back. How are we doing?
Yes, we're back again. So, guys, we're going to go straight into it. We're not going to dilly-dally around. Let's get straight into it, Cryptic. Cryptic, the 30-30. What's your thoughts on the 30-30 this season?
Kind of mid. I'm not honest with you. Just because of the fact that it has now like 10 bullets, like if we speak from the standpoint where it was used to be. The damage output is, I would say, decent, but not enough.
Yeah. No, I don't think it's anything spectacular, is it? It's just...
Yeah.
It's also as well, like, I feel like with hip fire as well, when you put that into the mix, I know obviously you're not really going to use it, but say in those situations where you have to swap to it, it's just so slow and you're really potluck, you know. Where at least with like a G7 you get a little bit of a faster fire rate. I feel just with the 30-30 it's just a bit slow. Damage output is not too bad. I would look between B or C.
I agree.
What do you reckon?
I would like maybe, to be honest, maybe C tier.
Should we go brutal to start with?
Let's go. Yeah.
I think we spread them out a little bit more. I feel like last time I did one, I know you weren't in the weapon one last time, but I feel like I got a little bit too busy with B and A, so I feel like I want to spread them a bit more, you know. So I agree. I think that's a good starting point. Okay, next up we've got the alternator, and of course the alternator doesn't have disruptors this round. So what's your thoughts?
I think honestly, like as a start weapon and an overall weapon, it's like still pretty good, especially like with the max size buff. 28 bullets on this gun actually is quite good, but I would not put it that high because in end game there's like just other guns that overtake is the damage output.
Yeah.
Or like a DPS for this gun. So I would, in my opinion, I would put it B tier.
Ooh, you beat.
It's not bad. Like it's definitely not bad. You just need to hit every bullet.
Yeah, it's
a common gun anyway. So like I would put B tier.
B tier, would you? Okay, so I feel like it, like you mentioned, it's good early game. Early game, it's definitely consistent, and the fact it's got like hardly any recoil. It's very easy to use. As we mentioned, it does drop off quite a lot, obviously towards the end game. It's not the sort of weapon that I would want to be running when it gets to the end. I just feel like with the removal of disruptors, I feel like B might be a bit too high, because some of the guns that I'm thinking of later on that I think might deserve to be in B, I think the alternator, in my opinion, might not deserve to be there with them. I don't think it's as good as it was purely on that basis of it doesn't have disruptors anymore. So I
agree.
I don't want to. I mean, I feel like I'm going to end up saying C as well, just whacking it straight down in the middle because it's consistent.
I think it's a high C tier just because of the fact that it does 16 damage for an SMG, and 16 damage for an SMG is pretty high.
Yeah. I would say like a C plus then. Yeah, in the middle.
Yeah.
There. Okay, all right. Okay, cool. Right, next up we got the bow check. I mean, you can't really go wrong with a bow check, can you? The damage output on that thing is
3 hours and you kill like a purple armor, so
it's pretty disgusting. I feel like we gotta put it in S. I mean, it's a care package weapon for a reason, isn't it? You know, its damage output is just too good for it to not be anywhere else. Cool. Okay, right. Next up we've got the car. So the car got a tiny buff, isn't it? Yeah, it wasn't a massive one. I
think because of the current meta where it's shifting, especially about the Akimbos and like the Vault being still so good and the Prowler as well now, I feel like it's a decent gun, but it's not living up to the standards where it was before.
Yeah.
When remember the R3 car meta. Like it's still the same, like they never changed the damage of it, they just changed the max size and they basically brought back the OG max size of it. But I feel like still it's not the same car or not the feeling of the same car it had because of the current meta.
Yeah.
I put it like a B tier or C tier even as well.
Yeah, I've very felt like it's not felt that good this season again. Last season there was moments where I was really happy with it, and maybe it's because I just haven't used it much, but it hasn't done a lot for me to want to pick that weapon over something else. I think the only reason you would really is probably in those ranked situations where maybe if you've got the ammo problem and you want to swap ammos, that's the only really thing that makes me want to use it. I don't get excited about thinking, oh yeah, I've got a car, this is going to be sick, or anything like that. No, it's just pretty mid-tier. I feel like
I have to say though, I feel like the car is definitely in the top 3 of the SMGs you can pick up from the ground at the moment. Though, like, I would say like I would prefer picking up the Prowler and Vault above the car, but like it's definitely better than the Alternator in my opinion.
Yeah, so I was going to say that. I said, do we think it's better than the Alternator? And if I think we both agree on that, because I would be happier having a car at endgame than I would an Alternator.
Me as well.
So shall we put it in B?
Yeah.
Yeah. Amazing. Okay, cool. Right, next up we've got the charge rifle. What's your thoughts on the charge rifle? I've put it in F every single video so far.
No, I would. The thing is, if you use it enough, you will realize it's actually quite good. Especially with how it use. Like, I think the last gun video was before the shield stuff, no?
Mm-hmm.
So I would put it E tier now, in my opinion, just because of the fact that it's like you don't have the chance to have purple at the end of the game as much as you used to have with damage.
Yeah.
And especially it doing more damage over range. Like if you actually play Vantage now and just shoot people over range, you can hit somebody for 319 per headshot. And that's literally a Kraber, but better.
Yeah.
So in the right hands, it's definitely a really, really good and annoying weapon.
Uh-huh.
So I would definitely put it E tier, but like normal game and like close range, nah, this gun is just not it. Like it's more of a person for like that plays zone, hard zone, and just wants to play back and not go into fights that deep.
Yeah, it's definitely
from a distance.
It's definitely for someone that wants to just farm their armor up in it and maybe get a lucky pop shot. I mean, don't get me wrong, early game it can be great fun because obviously you get those moments where you pick it up and all of a sudden you've knocked someone because they've got white. And you're like, oh my god, I've got a knock already, this is great. But after that, I don't think I'd ever carry it any further. That's my thoughts. I would pick it off a drop, maybe, to poke someone. But then after that, I'm not carrying that. I'm dropping it every single time. I know the damage output is like obviously crazy, but I mean, it's just not very often we see people using it.
Okay.
So I take on board. I feel like, is there anything else that you would put in F just off the head? Like, is there something that you have in your back of mind? Because I want to make sure that F is filled, and if it's not filled, I know what I'm putting in there.
I don't know.
Yeah, so I mean, I feel like all right. I'm gonna put it in F, and then if we find something else that we talk about and we go, actually,
yeah.
If it's something else, we can move it. Okay, that's how that sounds.
Yeah.
All right.
There's a knife in the list, right? There's no knife in the list.
No.
Okay. I'll put the knife in F-bot now.
Okay, right. Next up, we got Devotion. I think it's a no-brainer, isn't it?
Straight up, best team.
Yeah. No.
Like, I don't know why they add the gun shield to it as well this season.
Yeah,
it's
ridiculous.
It's literally the best gun in the game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, I was playing with mates yesterday, and there were people dropping on us from a big building on E District, and they all three were looking at me, and my friend just beamed all three of them. Like, he one-clipped all three of them with one magazine because of the Devo being so good. Like, it's just the best gun in the game at the moment, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I had a game the other day where I thought it was a Rampart shooting Sheila at me, and because of the fire rate and just how good it was, and I was like, oh, it must be Sheila. And then I check the kill feed, and I'm there like, oh, it's a Devotion. Yeah. Like, it's just so broken. I don't know why they haven't seen. I know it's a care package weapon, but come on, like, give us a fighting chance.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, cool. Right, next up we're going to go into the Eva. Now, obviously, shotguns are starting to come more into meta this season, but what's your thoughts on the Eva?
I feel like it's actually... I thought it was bad, but, like, it's actually okay, in my opinion. Like, it's not decent, but it's okay. Like, you need to have a shotgun bolt, of course, on this gun. Like, this is one of the shotguns where you need to have a shotgun bolt to actually do some damage.
Yeah.
And I think they didn't adjust the pattern of the EVA as well, compared to like the Mastiff and PK, that they got a rework, or not rework, just a change on the palette size.
Yeah.
And where the pattern as well. So I would put it like maybe even D tier at the moment.
Yeah, I'm thinking about the other shotguns, and it's definitely my least favorite, but it is still pretty consistent. Like, you know, you could pick it up and then you are still going to be able to get a good bit of damage. So I think I'll agree with you on B. I'm happy with B. Okay, next up we got the flatline. So the flatline obviously got a little bit of a nerf, only to the mag size. But do you think that's made it a massive difference, or do you still think it's great?
It just the feeling, in my opinion. Like I, in my opinion, as a primary weapon at the moment, I would pick up the flatline. In my opinion, just because of the fact that it still has this good damage output and the recoil. Yeah, the recoil control is hard, especially on PC now. For any of the viewers here playing on PC now with controller, the aim assist, like it makes it a little bit harder to control the recoil. But it's just overall a good weapon, especially in like close range as well, because of the hip fire being so good. But you just need to ADS and out ADS every time to close the spread. But still, in my opinion, it's really good.
Yeah, I do think it's still a very strong gun. I mean, like you say, it's only the mag side that's changed, so it's not like the end of the world that it's got one less bullet. I think it's something along the lines of that. So no, I do agree that I think the flatline is definitely the one that I'd be picking up over the Hemlock as well. Now I mean, we'll touch on that very shortly, but with the Hemlock changes, I'm now prioritizing flatline over that.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking flatline A.
Yeah.
Yeah. Brilliant. Perfect. Cool. Right, next up we're going to go into the G7. Now, I don't know if you've used the G7 much this season, but I think it's absolutely beaming.
It is. It's I think nobody like actually has realized how good this gun actually is. If you hit your shots, of course.
Yeah.
Because it's like a marksman rifle. But like 33 damage and that fire rate together combined is just absolutely goated in my opinion.
Yeah.
Especially like as well close range now. Like before I was like fire rate not so good compared to like the R3 or whatever. But now it's actually like living up. And hip fire as well is pretty good as well.
I do agree massively. Honestly, there's been occasions now where I mean, used to be I'd be like, right, I'm picking up the 301, whatever, and now it's like, no, pick up the G7 because the G7 is so much better. The damage input and just the, like you say, fire rate and even the hip fire. Like even when it gets close and personal, I'm so much more confident with a G7 in my hand than I am with, like, for example, that 30-30 like we mentioned earlier. It just seems like the bullets and the fire rate can hit so well. It's definitely slept on a lot more by players, and I mean it will probably come out more as obviously when we start getting to like LAN and things like that, and people start seeing how good the weapon it is. But yeah, I think it's definitely slept on. So yeah, I mean I'm looking at B or A personally. What would you go for?
I would agree. I would put it B to be honest.
B?
No, A.
Could
I would put it A.
Yeah,
I think it's the best marksman rifle, like on the ground, of course.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like I feel like I would say B.
Oh no, wait. No. I would say B because of triple take. I just forgot how broken the.
Oh, true. I mean, to be fair, the triple take's like a shotgun. Okay. Yeah, if we're gonna do that, let's. Yeah. No, I'm happy with that. Okay. Cool. Right, we'll say it was like a B+. Let's say that.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Right. Next thing we're going with a Havoc. Now, obviously, Havoc had a nerf. Any thoughts in your opinion?
Like people say, pick it up. The damage output is good, but it's only good with a turbocharger now, in my opinion. And you need to ADS in as well.
Yeah.
Like I feel like it's more of an MNK weapon now. So I would put it, in my opinion, high B tier. Like not A or S anymore, like it was used to be, like last season.
Okay.
But like still, if they want to like change something about it, they need to change the damage by 1 damage, I would say. Because 18 is still high.
Yeah, I don't, because obviously I put it in S tier last time, and I definitely think the nerf has done something because it's just not as easy as it used to be to use the hip fire. Like you can't just jump down and just hold the trigger now and then it magically hits. You actually have to put a little bit of thought into it. You have to obviously do the typical look down the scope, come out the scope to actually get it more accurate.
You have to be like in their faces as well.
But the damage output is still there, and I think when looking down a sight, you can still absolutely ruin people with it. So I don't think it's a B. I still think it's probably an A.
Yeah, okay.
I think a little bit.
It's definitely an A plus with the turbocharger, but without it's like, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we're going to obviously put into the aspect of things that, yeah, if you pick up the turbo as well, that would obviously make it even more destructive. But I don't think it's an S tier anymore, but I do think it's still an A. And I do think we're still going to see a lot of, like you say, the pro players, probably the M&K players using it because it's just so much easier for them to control.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's I think it's still quite a tasty weapon. Okay, cool. Next in, we're going with the Hemlock. So the Hemlock this season, obviously, he's had a nerf again. I haven't really got on with it as much as I used to. What's your thoughts?
I think it's still a decent gun. Like the damage output is still really good. You just need to hit your shots.
Yeah,
but it's definitely not like the feel of it. I would say is definitely not what it used to be.
Yeah,
like doing 20 bullet, 60 damage per 3 bullets you shoot at a guy is absolutely broken in my opinion. And now you're only able to do like 52, I think.
Yeah, it's along those lines. Yeah, I've just
found like it's still good, but like not where it was. So I would put it like B or A tier.
Yeah, so I had it in A tier last time, and I do think it's dropped off. So when you said B there straight away, I was thinking, yeah, no, I'd agree with you there. Like you say, it's still a consistent weapon. It's still good. In those situations, like you can still kill someone very quickly. The time to kill is still there, available. But it's just not doing what it used to do, which is probably a good thing because the Hemlock was very strong last season. So I'm happy with B.
Yeah.
Yeah. Amazing. Okay, cool. Right, next up, Kraber. Shall we even ask? Yeah, buddy. Straight up there.
Let's put it at F.
Okay, right. We're going in now with the L-Star. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm loving the L-Star this season. I was loving it last season. Yeah, that's what I was literally about to say. The gun shield on it now as well. It's just made it. I knew it was going to be a demon this season, just purely because when I saw the patch notes coming out and I read that they're doing this whole gun shield stuff, I thought, oh my god, the L-Star is just going to, because it was good last season, but everyone was using Havoc, and then now this season it's there like, well, you can have an extra 50 HP as well if you have obviously the gun shield. What's your thoughts on it?
I feel like it's A tier in my opinion at this moment. Like it's the most underrated LMG in my opinion. Especially with the hipfire spread reduction, that just makes the gun so good as well.
Yeah.
Like, in the aspect, it takes away the gun shield you have, but like if you got shot at and the gun shield is actually gone, I would prefer hip firing in close range, especially.
Yeah, I just feel like with the way the gun works as well, the fact that you don't have like if you're smart enough with the obviously the timing of the overheat, you can have a gun that is just literally ready to fire so often. And with that gun shield as well, it just kind of it's taking it up a notch for me. I mean, personally, in my opinion, I think it's probably I feel like it's better than the Havoc in my eyes.
Yeah, it is in this season, definitely.
And I don't know. I'm leaning a bit more towards A plus, definitely potentially even S.
Yeah, I would put it A plus.
Yeah, in my opinion, I think it's up there. Like, I don't know whether I don't know whether I could say it was S yet. I'm very close to wanting to say it's S, but maybe I need to see a little bit more from how the pros use it for me to be like, yeah, no, that definitely should be an S. Yeah. But at the moment, I think it's definitely the highest one so far in that A list. Okay, awesome. All right, next in, we're going with the longbow. I don't know about you, but I don't really like the longbow.
No, I don't like it as well. Like the damage output is good, but especially like for controller players, I think it's not the gun that would pick up like that easily.
No, it's it's just.
I would put it C or D tier in my opinion.
Oh mate, I was looking D and E.
I would put it like it's not bad. Like the damage output is good. 110 per 2 bullets if you actually hit them. It's good for a sniper in my opinion. Yeah, and the fire rate as well. So like,
I think it goes back to like, would you want to take this gun later into endgame? And then is it very similar to the whole charge rifle situation? Like, yes, you can do high damage with it, but is it something that you want to carry on until later game?
I will not put it to late game, especially before close the game gets. I would swap it to another gun.
Yeah, that's the reason why I'm very much staring at E or D. I don't think I would put it in C because the guns there in C, I know they're not snipers, but I just feel like that sort of caliber I could take to something later. Whereas the longbow, I'll pick it up off a drop. I might use it for a little bit, and then I'm dropping that as soon as I can. I'm not taking it any further. I personally would go E. I really would. I mean,
I'm between. I'm like D minus or like E plus because it's like, as I said, it's a decent gun for what it needs to do as a sniper rifle, but it's like overall for the game, it's not that great overall.
I mean, there's no skull piercer either.
Like late game.
Yeah, but there's no skull piercer either, so that's another thing it's missing out on now. I'd say we'll say E plus. How about that?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. I think it's going to be the only one in E personally, but we'll see. It fills up the category. Next up, we are moving into the Mastiff. Now, we mentioned earlier that the shotgun is in meta. What's your thoughts on the Mastiff this season?
I would put it 80. I'm not gonna lie to you. The gun is just so good and consistent now.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? It is so strong.
Yeah, like you will hit 90s most of the time now. Especially on MK, this gun is so good.
Yeah, it's going down to those stages now where, like, when you are obviously on the new map E District, and of course you're holding a top of a zipline building, and if you've got a Mastiff or even a PK, you know, you are doing big damage as soon as someone kind of tries to push you on that height. It's just so easy to get high damage games with this weapon. So I agree, A, definitely. I just feel like, considering how bad the Mastiff was last season, like I don't know about you, I hated the Mastiff last season, but
I don't know if you've seen what at the end, like to the end of the rank split, they actually like buffed the Mastiff for 2 days.
Oh right.
And it actually did 132 bullet damage.
Oh god.
It was like literally the old Mastiff on the care pack. That shit was busted, and I honestly missed that gun so bad. Like in season 5 stuff, that was so fun to play.
Yeah, it's definitely a fun weapon. But yeah, I'm glad it's had a bit more loving because I didn't enjoy it much at all last season. Okay, cool. Right, we're going into Mozambique, and of course we are going to be including that Akimbo. So, what is your thoughts on the Mozan this season?
Akimbo with hammer points or just in general S tier.
Yeah.
But normally I would put them beta.
Yeah, I think it's too good now this season, isn't it?
Yeah.
Would you consider it to be too strong?
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I do think Akimbo's going to have to take a little knock because my gosh, it's strong, isn't it? It's fun. Don't get me wrong, it is fun, but my god, you get melted.
I agree. Especially if you have a Maggie that has like speed boost from the ball. Like that is just so broken.
So no, I think there's no doubt in my mind. Akimbo Mozambique deserves to be in S. Okay, cool. Right, next up we got the Nemesis. So I put the Nemesis before an S, but I think after I made that video, I kind of actually wanted to change it. I am leaning more towards an A. Obviously, when it gets sped up, it's disgusting.
Yeah, it is. If you know how to play it, and if you know the recoil pattern of it, it's just so good.
Yeah.
Especially if you hit all 4 bullets, like if you hit your shots, the gun is just so good. Still.
Yeah. So would you be happy with A as well?
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. It's a all good weapon overall. I would put it as my main gun, or one of my main guns to play as an assault rifle, or like just as a main weapon.
I agree. I do think it's like I said, damage output, and then with a speed increase, and it isn't that hard to control realistic when it does get close and personal. It's a pretty nice gun to be using. So yeah, I definitely agree. I mean, and we're starting to notice a pattern here. The energy is definitely taken over the A category.
Yeah, the energy weapons are in general just so good.
Yeah, it makes sense why they nerfed the ammo situation to try and make people now be in that situation where they probably should only be running 1 energy. But we'll have to wait and see on that front with the pro players whether that actually does take an effect or whether they still run double energy. Moving forward now, we're going to go into the P20s, and of course, we are going back to Akimbo again. What's your thoughts on the P20?
Like the fire rate is absolutely insane, especially with hard points as well.
Yeah.
But if it's like a normal, just a P2020, I would put it D tier.
Yeah, I think definitely S. I wonder whether like obviously this would be it's down to obviously people how good their trigger finger and stuff is, but I wonder whether they would be better off taking away with the Mozams and the P2020 the ability to just hold down the trigger and be a little bit more reliant on the actual trigger finger, just because it's like you mentioned, you just hold it down and you just aim in the direction, and if you've got hammer points on, it's game over. It would
I as well think like they should get away of the ability that you have to like, or that you can like aim down the side. In my opinion, what they should have done is like in Star Wars Battlefront, I don't know if you played that ever before, like there's a character as well that has a dual wield pistols, and you had to press both buttons, so your LT and RT, or L, is it L1? No, L2 and right R2 to shoot either gun, so you could like just literally just shoot the normal shoot button to shoot with one gun instead of both at the same time, and then not auto as well, to make it a bit more adjustable. And that would be more fun as well, because you literally had to like spam both buttons at the same time.
And then that would also make those situations where maybe if you're trying to chase after someone, you have to slow down in order to actually be accurate and shoot, which would give people obviously that chance to get away as well. So no, I agree, that would actually be quite a good thing to implement. I think there's definitely ways to make them less broken. Definitely. I just feel like the skill to use them is not exactly hard, and if they made it a little bit more harder to use, then this would probably be a lot fairer. But yeah, S tier 100%. The hammer points are just disgusting.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, right. PK. What's your thoughts on the PK?
A tier. My opinion. I feel like it's a really good gun, just overall. Like having especially if the pattern being like adjusted again as well. It's so consistent now. I do. Especially with fire, like you have the chance to hit hundreds or like 100 damage so much more often now.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. I find that the Mastiff and the PK, I'm happy with whatever one I find. And like I say, I'm always prioritizing those two over the Eva. Of course, obviously, if you get the chance to run the Akimbo Mozams, you're going to be running that. But I do find that this season, obviously the PK was pretty good last season, but I think the PK is even better this season, which is saying something. So I agree. I think A is definitely a fair spot to put the PK. Cool. Okay, right. Next up, we're moving on to the Prowler. What's your thoughts on the Prowler?
I think it's, as I said before, it's definitely in the top 3 SMGs, in my opinion. Like I would put it above the Vault, to be honest, because I don't know why, but in my opinion, I don't know if it's just PC, but I just feel like the Vault feels so much more different than it used to be. I don't know what they did to it, but the feeling is just so like weird.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I definitely say we agree with the Prowler. I mean, there's been moments where I've not got on with the Prowler this season, but I know for a fact that is just me not using it enough and not practicing enough. I know the damage output on that gun is just ridiculous. The hit fire on it is nasty. So I know for a fact that is just on me. So I'm not going to be, slagging it off and saying, no, it's rubbish gun. No, it's got that ability to be absolutely disgusting in the right hands. So I think A as well. I definitely do. I think A is definitely a good spot for the Prowler. Okay, cool. Right, next up, we're going to move into the R301. What's your thoughts on the 301?
It is good now, in my opinion, with the max size increase, but it's still a pea shooter.
Yes.
Like, it's actually the Plants vs. Zombies triple shooting plant now, with the max size increase. Yeah. So yeah, but I would pick it up as well, but like for everything. But you just need to be consistent, hit all your shots to actually inflict some good damage. Yeah. I found with it, it's like, so when I've ever used it this season, I find that I do a lot of damage,
but that's purely just because it's got more bullets. So I'm shooting a lot more. Probably means that obviously I'm able to miss bullets and I'm able to hit bullets. But I'm just finding kill wise, it's not helping me get kills because, like we mentioned, it's a pea shooter. It's not going to be that gun that's going to be able to get me that damage that's going to secure me the kill. It's that one that's just going to either like pick off someone at the end of it, or it's going to maybe get them no shields and then someone nicks my kill. It's it's not doing enough for me like it used to. Easy as hell to use, easy control wise. You know, it's a new player's best friend, but it's not something I would want to pick up or end game, late game, purely on that basis of the fact that I know it is not going to do the damage I need, especially when you're looking at like the guns that are probably going to be above it, like you say the Flatline, the Havoc, L-Star, Hemlock, all them ones, G7, those ones all do so much more damage.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at C or D. What would you go for?
I would put it C.
Yeah, I'm happy with C.
I think it's one of the weakest assault rifles in the game.
I'm happy with C. I think it's probably like in my eyes maybe a C- at the moment. I'm not gonna lie, but it's definitely a C. Okay, cool. Right, next up we are going with the R99. Have you had a chance to pick up the R9 in the care package yet?
Yes, I think it's an S tier.
Mm-hmm.
Just like I know it's a care package weapon, but how the concept works with how far you are away from your enemy to do much more damage is actually pretty cool. Like no joke.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's definitely better. It's definitely better. Like I say, they sorted it out, and yeah, there's been those situations where it's going back to, you know, if maybe like someone's kicking down a door and you've got the R9 in your hands, they regret it instantly because the fire rate on the thing is ridiculous, and obviously the mag size increased is made it pretty damn beautiful. Nasty. So yeah, I don't think I would put it any lower. I think it's probably out of the care package weapons my least favorite. Purely because obviously the bow check's great fun. The devotion, as we mentioned, is ridiculously broken. Kraber, when it's stupid.
It's just a Kraber, like it's just a Kraber.
Yeah, but yeah, I think the R9 is my least favorite, but I can see the potential in that gun at the moment, and I have used it, and I have thought to myself, okay, yeah, close and personal, this gun melts. Amazing. Okay, cool. Right, we're moving into the Rampage. What's your thoughts on the Rampage this season?
I think it's one of it's the most underrated LMG in this game at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Like it does the damage output is so good. Just the fire rate that is absolutely horrible without the thing now. Like without the thermite.
Up. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But like especially if the reduction of the thing now, like it's so good if you just keep shooting and like actually are able to track the enemy.
Yeah. No,
So put it either D or C tier, just because of the fact that in base it's okay, but it's not like good.
Yeah.
Compared to other LMGs.
Yeah, I would say with regards to offer drop and all that, it is like it's easy to control, isn't it? But like you say, the fire rate's a bit slow, and if it gets close and personal, it's not my favourite gun to have very close to someone because I'm just waiting. So, you know, it's slow. It's and you're just if you miss one of those shots, then you're pretty much going to get filled by them, but with another 5 bullets. So when it is ramped up, it is thermited ready. It is ridiculous.
It's busted, yeah.
Yeah, but you've got to get to that stage. So I feel like I would put it in D, like you said. I think that slot is looking at me and it's saying you're like a D+. Don't get me wrong, but it's not like I just feel like, you know, it deserves its spot there purely because if I can't find any thermites, I'm stuck with a really rubbish LMG. So you're relying on basically loot pool, and of course on E District, loot pool's not the best thing in the world. So yeah, I think that would probably be more why. Cool. Right, next up we've got the RE45, and of course we have no hammer points this season. What's your thoughts? Oh, wait, we do. Sorry, ignore me.
We do.
Sorry.
I just want to say. Now, I feel like it's a C or D tier, but it's like, it's so good beginning of the match, like no joke.
Yeah.
The beginning of the match, like outdrop, it's one of the best weapons I would pick up, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Despite like alternator and stuff, but like still.
Yeah.
As from pistols, so.
Yeah, I do really enjoy the RE. What I was getting my head all mixed up in it. It's because I haven't picked up the RE much this season, purely because the hammer points are better off on the Akimbo P20s and Mozams. But last season, that was the main gun I would use. If I saw hammer points, I would be all over those RE, because obviously the fire rate, it is just great to use. It's a very good, strong, consistent, and like you mentioned, off a drop, it's a very good time to kill wise weapon. So I would definitely say, what, C? What did you say?
I said C or D tier.
I think with the fact it's still got hammer points, I mean, I know that anyone would use it with hammer points this season, like we mentioned, because obviously there's better options. I do think maybe it would suit better C. You happy with C?
Yeah.
Let's go with C then. Amazing. Cool. Right. Next up, we're going with a Sentinel. Now, tell me your thoughts.
Best sniper. Like on the Gauntlet, in my opinion. Like it's their charge up thing is just so good. The amount of damage you can hit is just absolutely insane.
Yeah.
So I would put it either B or A tier to be honest as well.
I would agree with A. I think the Sentinel, it's just really fun to use. It is just like the most easy to use weapon, sniper wise, and it's really satisfying as well. Like there's nothing more better than like when you got an iron sight Sentinel and you're just clipping away at people. But of course, with the cells, when we obviously power it up, that is an absolutely broken sniper. So I do agree. I think it's an A. I don't think it's S, but I do think it's definitely an A. So let's whack it up there. Beautiful, fun weapon. I love that gun. So much fun to use. Right, next up, Spitfire. Now, I've got a lot of mixed reviews of this one. Some people have said they've actually loved it this season. I've not been that massively bothered about it, but I don't know your thoughts.
I think it's A.
Oh, really?
A, even S tier because of the gun shield and the firing rate and just like in general. The recoil control is actually not that hard to control. It's like actually similar to the R3. And then just having a gun shield as well, I feel like it's definitely one of the guns to go for.
So I personally haven't used it overly too much. I haven't actually had a chance to use it with a gun shield yet because I have mainly been prioritizing when I see a gun shield. I have been taking the L-Star, but I do find that beforehand, and like just say when you mentioned there, it is easy to use the Spitfire. Like it is a new player's, in my opinion, best friend, because all you got to do is hold down the trigger and it doesn't exactly take a lot to control. And with the added gun shield, that's obviously going to be helping it in the mix as well. I don't think I'd put it S though, personally. I would look at.
I would put it like A tier. I feel like this is definitely season where LMGs are definitely really good weapons.
Yeah. Okay. I'd be happy. I'll go with you because I haven't used it much. I would maybe have leaned A or B. So
yeah.
Okay. Cool. Let's go with that then. Excellent. Right. Next up, we've got the triple take. Now, you wanted to talk about the triple take earlier. Go for it.
Yeah. I think it's the best marksman weapon in the game. Just because of the damage output it can do. Like it can hit you for 102 per headshot, which is absolutely insane, especially beginning of the game. I feel like at the beginning of the game, this gun is definitely the best gun you can pick up.
Yeah.
Just because of the fact that it can do 102 headshot, and then it works like a shotgun as well in close range.
Yeah. It's
I'll put it either B or A tier.
B or A tier, yeah. I think it's a very, very good weapon to use. Like we mentioned, it's very good. Like you say, you can have those situations where you are using it for like end game. You can take it to that stage. I think there was actually a play in the Apex World Cup where someone managed to clear up at the end with a triple take, which shows you the ability that the weapon can have even in that late game stage. And the poke on it is great for just melting enemies' resources and of course getting your shield up. So I would be happy with the fact that obviously it's so good at close range as well with A.
Yeah, I agree. I would put it there as well.
I think that's fair because I mean it makes sense anyway, energy now and all that. But I do think it's so good. And of course, what I would say when I go back to that play I watched in the Apex World Cup, someone getting those final kills with it, that just shows you what they can do with it what it's capable of. All right,
Yeah,
cool.
thank you.
Last two weapons. We've got the Volt. You were touching on the Volt earlier. Go for it.
Like, as I said, in my opinion, like how it feels for me as a controller player on PC right now, I would definitely not put it A tier. I would put it B tier.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like overall in the console, where there are a lot of players as well, I think this gun is like A tier. So the damage output and how it works.
Mm-hmm.
But if you like as well get used to, or if I get used to how it feels now,
Yeah.
I feel like it's still an A tier.
Yeah, it's just so easy to control. And it's the fact that you can use it not only at close but mid-range as well. There is moments where you're able to shoot down and actually easily control it and do the damage. Obviously, out of the energy guns that are on the list and all that, it's probably one of the lower ones. But it is still very, very good. And I would agree with A personally.
Yeah.
So we whack it in at A. Oh, A tier just got bigger. Cool, I've got to actually scroll down and get the last weapon. Okay, right, the final one. Just going to move it up. Now, then I can move up a little bit. Here we go, right.
Yeah, I would say as well, B tier. Like, it's still, Wingman is still Wingman. Like, we know the gun is good if you hit your shots. But like just because of the fact that there's no mag anymore on the gun, like it makes it a bit weird.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to be more consistent about your shots. But I wouldn't like really straight equip it every time if I'm not good with the gun.
Mm-hmm. I think the gun itself is just, I mean, it is fun to use in the fact that, like, you know, when you're hitting your shots, you're like, wow, this is great. And the head damage is, obviously, headshot damage is very good. But like you mentioned, the mag sizes are too small. It doesn't have skull piercer, and it's the fact it's on sniper ammo as well. That obviously puts it down a little bit. It's I don't take that gun much at all anymore. Early game, late game, I don't see the point because there's so many better guns to be using. Now, I did just randomly put it in there at B. I didn't really actually think about it, but I think I might have done all right there.
I agree.
Yeah, should we stick that with B?
Yeah.
Amazing. Cryptic, this is our tier list. What do you think?
I feel like you can see now that the meta actually is more more widespread.
Mm-hmm.
That you actually have the chance to pick up more weapons as the guns you would want to choose as your loadout for the overall game.
Yeah.
As you can see how many guns are in AT at the moment.
Mm-hmm. It's that, I think we've done a good job here. I like the fact that the lot has changed this season. Like last season, I think the tier list has changed quite a lot, and it does show that we are getting these different play styles and this different, loadouts that people are going to be using purely because the meta is changing. And it's good. I'm happy. I want to see energy changed a little bit more. I can't lie, because I do feel like it's still a very energy dominant game, but I'm not angry.
I agree with you.
Perfect. Right, this is our tier list, guys. If you have enjoyed the video, please make sure you hit the like button. Comment down below if you would change anything. We don't mind it. If you say we're wrong, you put it down below where you think it should be, and please subscribe your notifications on that way you never miss an upload. If you guys enjoy this so much, me and Cryptic will come back and do a Legends tier list next. Would you like that, Cryptic?
Yes, of course. Hello. New season, new tier list.
Apart from that, Cryptic, any final words?
Love you all. Subscribe to Snake's Twitch, please. And this is the next one. Love you all. Bye bye.
Bye bye. See you all later.